What's up, everyone? Today I want to talk about intermittent fasting, but also the different types of intermittent fasting. Because in my other videos about what is intermittent fasting and how to do it correctly, I only talked about one way, which is the one way that most people think about. But there's actually a few more ways. So let's get into it. So if you don't know what intermittent fasting is or the benefits of it, stop this video right now and go check out my other video, which is what is intermittent fasting and how to do it correctly. I'll leave those links to the videos in the description. Now let's talk about the different types of intermittent fasting. First, we have the main form that most people think of when they think of intermittent fasting. It's when you have an eating time frame and then a fasting time frame. The main one that people think of is the 16 hours of eating and then 8 hours of your fasting period where you're not eating or drinking anything but water or coffee. Now with this form of intermittent fasting, most people do 16 hours of no eating and then 8 hours of eating. Now you can change that up and do any variation you want, but the bigger the fasting period, the more benefits you'll see. So if you want to do this type of intermittent fasting, I'd recommend starting with 10-hour eating gap and 14-hour fasting period. And obviously your sleep's going to be included in that fasting period time. And then maybe as you start to progress and do this for a week or two, you can drop that 10 hours of eating down to 9 hours of eating, then 8 hours, and so on. I personally do about 7 hours for my eating time frame, and it's really cool because once you get in the rhythm of doing this form of intermittent fasting, hunger doesn't dictate when you eat. It's really cool to have this freedom from food. And for the second type of intermittent fasting, we have what's called the 5-2. And basically 5 days of the week, nothing's abnormal. You just eat however you want. But on those 2 days of the week, you're going to want to eat only 25% of your normal calories. And again, I want to emphasize that intermittent fasting, any forms of the ones I'm talking about, you can eat whatever you want. It's not a diet that's limiting or anything like that. It's an eating strategy. So on those days where you're eating 25% of your calories, eat whatever food you want. It doesn't matter. It's not going to mess with your intermittent fasting. And for the third type of intermittent fasting, we have the 6-1. And basically, you have 6 days of normal eating, then 1 day of no eating at all. And on that 1 day of no eating, you can have that water and coffee as long as you don't add cream or sugar. So it's the same thing that applies as the first type of intermittent fasting. So now the question is, which type of intermittent fasting should you be doing? And it's going to vary from person to person. Personally, I like that first form of intermittent fasting where you do it on a daily basis, or try to at least. And the reason for that is because we're getting into this new era of health where it's not just about physical health. When you start doing things like intermittent fasting or eating correctly or healthier or working out, it starts to become a habit. And once these healthy habits begin to form, you start to see this momentum and you get more curious about nutrition and fitness. So I really like applying things that have become a daily part of your life. And also if you do one of those other forms where it's a 5-2 or the 6-1, it's so much easier just to be like, oh, I'm not feeling about doing this fasting today. Like, I'm just gonna not do it. And then obviously you fall off the wagon and stop doing intermittent fasting. But you also have to look at your life and see what fits the most. Let's say you go out to dinner with your friends every single night and that first form of intermittent fasting wouldn't work. So then maybe in that case, just do that 6-1 split. So 1 day you sack up and don't go get dinner with your friends, but those other days you can. But the reason why a lot of people don't do intermittent fasting is because they're a little confused on how to do it correctly and what they can eat and not eat. So what I've done is I've created a document that will show you what I eat and my eating time frame and my fasting time frame all combined. If you want that, go ahead and click the link in the description and I'll email that out to you. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe. It really means a lot to me and you'll see all my future content.